I'm preparing to do the 9-Patch Collective Sweater Weather Quilt Along and want to talk today about my plan for this quilt and bring you fabric shopping with me. Next to me I have my I Heart You quilt. This is a quilt pattern by Pen and Paper Patterns and Then Came June Quilts. I made this year. I'm really happy with it. I actually had it long armed by a local long armor, and I'm not sure if you can see the backing. It is this lovely I Love You hand signs fabric that I got I think on clearance from Hancock's of Paducah. I was really excited to see this quilt pattern pop up on my Instagram. It's a very modern quilt. Most of the quilts that I make are single blocks, kind of like this one, where it's just a single repeating block. But this has 9 blocks in 6 colors plus a background color, and it winds up being a pretty large square quilt. Each of the blocks I believe finishes at 20 inches, so it's a pretty large quilt. It's almost as big as this quilt. I'm really excited to work on it, and I do need to get some fabric because I think it'll look best in solids, so I want to take you with me as I go to one of my local fabric stores and shop for some fabric. I've never done a quilt along before, so I'm really excited to take you along this journey with me. It will also be my first time actually quilting curves. I've sewn curves before because I can sew garments and things like that, but I've never quilted curves. So this will be an interesting challenge because I believe 3 of the 9 blocks do have curves in them. I think that this is going to get me back into my quilting mojo. When I bought my knitting machines, I totally put down everything else. I don't have a ton of room to have both my knitting machine and my sewing machine out with everything that I would need to do quilting, like my blades and my cutting mats and my pressing mat and things like that. So I'm really excited to get some of my quilting mojo back and to do something that's nice and modern. I'd really like to stick with a super modern, very crisp color palette for this sweater weather quilt that I'll be doing. Nice, simple, clean lines is kind of the name of the game. After I finish this quilt, it's very possible, almost likely I would say, that I'll be taking one of the blocks in particular. I believe it's the Abby Mead block that I particularly like, and I'm definitely considering making a full-size quilt of just that block. I hope you enjoy! I am here at my local fabric store and I'm going to pick out my fabric. I think instead of getting just enough for what the pattern calls for, because I'm a little bit worried about cutting, especially these curves, I'm just going to get a yard of everything, and then I'll have scraps, which is like half of the fun. Okay, I wound up with basically what I need. I had 6 colors of Kona cotton plus a background Kona cotton, and I did get 4 yards of a Robert Kaufman print for backing. I would have liked to have gotten a wide back for my backing, but I'm really happy with what I got, and I'm super excited to start the quilt along in a couple of weeks. It is so hard to accurately get the color of fabric on camera, so I'm just going to do it in a couple of different lights. So you can see my 6 colors and then my background and backing fabric here. These are on top of a white table. And this is the fabric in direct sunlight and in a particularly shady part of my house. So this quilt along starts on September 1st. If you'd like to join me, I'm including the link in the description. I'm not associated with this at all. I'm just really excited to do it. I'm excited to share how I do with this quilt along, considering the fact that it is my first quilt along and it's my first time seriously piecing curves. So that will be very interesting. We'll see how many times I have to beep stuff out. Are you planning to participate in the sweater weather quilt along? If so, leave a comment below. Let me know. I'm really curious as to who else is doing this. It sounds like they've had a lot of people sign up already, and it hasn't even started yet. Also, let me know which block is your favorite. If you were going to make a quilt of one block, which block would you choose?